And really think about squeezing the upper arms together, letting the head hang right down towards the ground. So using gravity to assist us here, but keeping those hips lifted nice and high. Over time, melting the heart and the chest towards the thighs. Just another breath here. Inhale. And then exhale, taking the gaze to the fingers. Creep the toes forwards. Lots of knee bend again if you need it. Coming all the way to the front of your mat. Feet are parallel. Inhale, find your flat back and your halfway lift. Sliding the shoulder blades away towards the base of your spine. Little squeeze of the belly and then release on the exhale. Softening the knees again if you need to. Rounding yourself down into a floppy forward fold. So allowing yourself to hang out here, you might want to interlock the hands behind the back. You might want to catch the elbows in the opposite hands. You might want to take a little sway round as well. Just slowly finding a bit of space in the back of the legs and in the back body. Allowing the head just to dangle down. One more breath when you're ready. Inhale. And exhale, well done, soften the knees. Inhale, float up with the arms. You should have lots of space, reaching up nice and high. Spreading out, maybe bringing the palms together or just to face each other is fine. And taking a little squeeze of the back body as you find a back bend. Just opening out a little bit more and then find your way down. All the way down with the hands to the mat once more. Just find that lovely sequential roll down through the spine. Pass the hands down to the floor and then take your way back into your full plank. Let's transition, take the weight forwards. Knees can come down if you need to. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, lift up, find your upward facing dog. And then tucking the toes back into your down dog. Okay, well done, well done, well done. Let's work into our plank now. So plank sequence coming up. We're going to roll the weight forward. So squeeze in the belly as you come forwards into that position where you feel strong through the core, strong through the arms and strong through the legs. Now you can bring the knees down if you need to on this one. We're going to begin working into opposite sides of the body. So we're going to take a tap out with the left foot and the right hand. And then come and bring back to centre. Then we're going to take the right foot and the left hand out and bring them back to centre. But all the time, I want that belly switched on and the hips nice and low. So keep alternating. If you want to take it a step further, rather than taking a tap out, you can take a step out and then you can take that asymmetrical press. So entirely up to you. Working here for another 5. You can just hold if you need to. 4. Try and get... Yeah, press up news.
I managed 100 again this morning.
Well done, Chrissy. Final one, well done. And from there, releasing all the way down onto the belly. So nice, slow lower for 10. Get back up, Chrissy. 9. Elbows scraping past the rib cage. 8. You've got this. Knees can come down if you need. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And down we go, release. Take the arms out behind you, bring the heels together, take a squeeze and a lift, a little baby back bend. Inhale, find strength in the glutes and lower back as you take that lift. So the palms want to be facing, little fingers facing up towards the ceiling, squeezing the shoulder blades together, clicking the heels together maybe for a bit of more activation in the glutes as you hold or you click for 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Take the hands underneath the shoulders, bring the knees together as we press back into a kneeling twist. So sitting down onto the heels. If you want to, you can't see under my skirts, but you can take a little sit on the heels and the toes tucked if you find that you want a bit more of a stretch out for the feet. Some people don't find that particularly comfortable, but you can do if you wish. So taking a kneeling twist, sitting up tall through the spine, taking the left arm out in front and windmilling the right arm all the way out behind us. So we're taking that lovely openness towards the chest again, lifting up tall through the spine and just enjoying that nice stretch out for 3, and a 2, and 1. Good. Inhale, come back through centre. Exhale, lift up with the left arm, float it out behind. So just working into that shoulder mobility as we open up over the top. That's it. Stretching out. Make sure your arms aren't sagging down towards the floor. Keep them up at shoulder height. Well done for 3, 2, And 1, good. Inhale, come back through center, taking the hands down and working into a forearm side plank now. So we'll start with the right forearm down, extending out through the legs. If you want to keep the right knee down, you can. We're looking to open out and lift the hips nice and high on this right side. We're going to take the left arm out to the top. Now you can hold here in your side plank if you wish, or you can start to draw the left elbow and left knee together and then extend again. So see what your balance is like this morning. Lots of things affect our balance, so don't worry if you're wobbling. We're going to take 2 more, so that's 5 on this side, and then we're going to move into the other side. Final 1, well done. Keep squeezing into the outside of that right thigh and lifting up through the waist. Swap it over. Left forearm comes down, right arm reaches, staying here if you need, bringing the left knee down if you need, and taking a stretch for 1 and 2. Try to extend as much as you can as well as lift through the hips. Good, we've got 2 more, squeeze, final time, and extend, well done, rolling back through center with care, with control. Okay, so forearm plank, we're just going to hold it now, so engage those abs, press the heels away, allow yourself some space through the shoulders, so we're not hunched up next to the ears, and we're just going to hang out here, so squeezing that core nice and tight, improving our core strength. Well done. Hold and breathe for another 5. You've got this. Next. Transition. Take the weight forward. Remember, you come down onto the knees and take a knees, chest, chin as you lower down. Inhale, lift up. Find upward facing dog. Knees can be down or you can engage the quads. Lift the knees. Exhale, release. Lifting up nice and high with the sit bones. Spreading out the fingers. Having a little wiggle around through the hips just to stretch out before we work into our standing poses. Okay, walking the feet forwards, or if you want to, you can bend the knees, lift up through the hips and float the feet forwards. Inhale, nice flat back, gaze down so the back of the neck stays nice and long. And exhale, soften the knees. Inhale to rise. Well done, taking the hands to the heart center. Now we're going to come into a moon pose, so we're going to interlock the hands and take the palms up towards the ceiling. So to do this, sometimes the shoulders always want to snuggle up next to the ears. So I want you to find as much length through the arms as you possibly can, whilst keeping both feet connected to the floor, feeling like you're strong through the thighs. What you can practice is rotating the thighs outwards. So just practice with both feet underneath the hips, just externally rotating the thighs here. Okay, so externally rotate through the thighs, interlock the hands, stretch up tall through the spine, find that nice long pose in your moon pose. Well done. For 3, maybe close the eyes. 2, and for 1 breath. And release. Float the arms out to the side and start to work into our fig tree pose. So taking the right foot, popping the right foot at the left ankle, either at the inner calf or maybe you can bring it right into the left inner thighs. Totally up to you. So focusing on balance. To highlight this, if you can turn over towards the left, away from that lifted right knee, it's going to challenge you even further. So this is called fig tree pose. It's a hip opener. It allows us to build on our concentration levels. This can then manifest itself in other areas of our life, which is good. Taking 3 more deep breaths. Well done. Coming into the next pose, we're working into a hips and heart warrior. Final breath in. So think about sending that right foot back now to the back of your mat. Stepping out wide with the right foot, toes turning out. We're going to bring the front left hand as if we were taking a prayer pose at heart center, but just with one hand. The other hand's going to wrap all the way around the back. Now, just allowing it to nestle into that lower back space, or you could take a bind at the front of your left hip if you can. So then start thinking about these legs. I want you to sink deep into that front left leg. Make sure that knee's not dropping into the center. If you can, press it out towards the long left side of your mat. So dropping right down and then turning the gaze towards the side on the right hand side and steering this back shoulder back. So we're finding as much twist as we can through the spine here. So keep working down through the hips, pressing away through the outside edge of your back foot I'm finding some really strong legs. Nice work. Hips and heart warrior for 3. Looking good. 2. And 1. Releasing that backhand now, bringing it in to meet the left hand, so bringing it into prayer, and then pivoting on that back foot, coming to lift the heel and finding a twisted lunge. So when you feel balanced, allowing your right arm or elbow to come to the outside of your left thigh. So you can drop the knee back down if you need to, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly. Keep pressing out through that back heel though if you can, lifting up through the torso, allowing that left shoulder to come as far back as you possibly can this morning. Full breaths in. Can you feel that back right quad engaged? If not, squeeze it. Find a bit more rotation. 2. And for 1, lovely. Release back through center. Okay, you're going to take the left hand down now in front of the left foot. We're going to have a go at floating up with that back right leg. So catch the balance here first of all. If it feels okay to do so, I'm just going to move back a little bit on my mat. We're going to take that opener of your top right hip, so you can stack it on top of the left. You might want to take the right hand onto the right hip to encourage this. So kicking up as high as you can with this top leg, you might then want to float up with your right hand. So this is standing half moon pose. So extending away in 4 different directions with different limbs, really stretching out, finding strength in this standing leg. You can look to the horizon or maybe up to that top hand, or you might have a go at floating your bottom hand off the ground. Wherever you want to be is fine. For another 3. Really opens the chest and shoulders. 2. Coming into triangle pose next. And 1. Good. Float with control. Take that right foot to the back of the mat once more. Heel to inner arch alignment. 2 straight legs this time, so the knees are not bent. Take the arms to shoulder height. Make sure this back hand is not dropping down. Keep it nice and strong. Inhale. Exhale, reach forwards with the left fingers. So we're sliding the right hip back towards the short back end of your mat before we windmill down with the left hand. And again, if you're feeling wobbly, take the gaze down, maybe to the horizon, maybe up to the right fingertips if you can. You might decide that you want to bring the right hand into that lower back space, if that allows you to open out to that top shoulder a bit more. If you feel like you need a bit more support, you can pop your hand on a couple of books or something which is going to just lift you slightly, or maybe even that left shin. 1 more breath in here, then we're coming into pyramid pose. So on the next breath, I want you to look down to the floor, soften that front knee, and then float up with the torso. We're going to take a shorter step with that right leg. Now we're going to bring both feet to face the short front side of your mat. This allows both hips to become square, which is where we want them. So we're taking a forward fold from the hips. Take a lift, hands to hips, or you can take the arms out, whatever your choice is. As we get lower to the ground, you might find that the hands want to come down to the floor. So keep working into that forward fold. If you get to a point where you think, nah, my left leg does not want to be worked into any further, that's okay. If you do get to a point where you can release your hands down, that's fine. Again, if you've got books to hand, you could pop your hands on something here, just to keep you a bit more stable. You are going to challenge the balance more if you have your hands off the floor, of course, because you've got less points of contact. But you can work into a forward fold from there, allowing the forehead to drop down towards your left knee. So this is pyramid pose. Drawing in breath, and as you release that breath, see if you can just find a bit more wiggle room. Let the head be heavy. Just enjoy the sensations that the pose brings. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Give me a little bend in that front knee and bring the right foot forwards to meet the left. Inhale, find a nice flat back. And exhale, release down, find floppy forward fold. So lots of knee bend if you need to. We're going to work into our second side now. When you're ready, inhale, rise up tall, reach up. Remember, we've got moon pose first of all, so think again about that rotation. So you're not moving your feet at all. We're just pressing the thighs out, interlocking the hands above the head, taking that squeeze and lift, closing the eyes, releasing the shoulders down the back, standing tall. Just noticing where your center of gravity lies in the feet, really feeling that connection with the heel, the big toes and the little toes. One more breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release the hands. This time we're taking the left foot to the right leg. Okay, so ankle, so think about your tree variation, your inside calf, or maybe up into the right inner thigh if you can. So arms are outstretched, out wide. If you're feeling balanced, then start to take the gaze over towards the right hand side. So you're standing on the right leg, lifting with the left, and turning to the right. So again, still focusing on keeping the shoulders moving down the back, but letting the arms stay lifted at shoulder height as well. So wanting to maintain that lift. Well done. We've got hips and heart warrior next. One more breath. Inhale. Let's float into that transition. Nice soft release of that back leg. Left toes turned out. Heel to inner arch or heel to heel. Remember, it's the front arm, the right hand that comes through center, and it's the left arm which sweeps all the way around, coming into that lower back crease, or maybe even tucking into the front of your right hip. So start to bend into that front knee. It's a warrior position, so we want a nice front deep knee bend. Think about right knee being in line with the right hip and the ankle, so you're not dropping that knee back through center. So come down deep into the hips. Press down into the outside edge of that left foot. So try to avoid leaning forward, just come down south. So coming right down into the legs. Strong warrior legs. Look into the left-hand side of the mat here. Encouraging this left shoulder to move round a little bit more if you can. So you get that nice twist through the abs and the obliques here as well. Perfect. Well done, guys. For another 3. Keep connecting with the breath. 2. And for 1, twisted lunge. Release that back hand, bring both hands together, pivot on the back foot. If you need to take a slightly shorter stride, then do so. Take a breath in. As you exhale, release into your twist. Left elbow outside of your right thigh. If you're feeling too wobbly, just take the left hand down onto the floor and lift up with the right arm. So there's another option there for you if you need it. So I always think about finding strength in the legs here, then lifting up through the torso once I feel balanced, then finding more rotation, drawing that right shoulder back behind me, pressing hard into the hands so you can stack the elbows. For 3. Well done. 2. And 1. We're ready for this tricky transition into standing half moon. Allow yourself to come back through center, planting down with the right hand. You might want to use your left as well, just to start off with. Kick up high with the left leg. Remember, if you want to pop your hand on something here, you can do. And then kick up high with that left heel. Maybe bring the left hand to the left hip as you open the hips and the chest towards the long left side of your mat. Find something still to focus on, maybe extending up through that top arm. That's it. So kicking up nice and high, reaching fingertip away from fingertip, and holding there. So you're really working hard into the outside of this left thigh to keep that top leg lifted. So it's a good toning exercise for that top leg. Just give me 2 more breaths here. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Well done. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let's find triangle. See if you can float with control. Don't thump that back foot down. So heel to heel or heel to inner arch alignment. 2 straight legs. Float up with the arms. Take the gaze forwards over the front fingers. Inhale and exhale to reach. From there, find that windmill. Left arm reaches. Right hand comes down. Squeezing through the pelvis to press the hips forwards. Option to take your hands onto your shin, onto a block. Maybe you want to take the hand to the floor, but don't compromise what's happening up at the top of the body. Some people try and get down towards the floor, so end up doing this where the chest is facing down. I want you to think about the chest moving towards the ceiling, finding that openness, breathing into the torso, finding height, finding lift for 3. Well done. 2. And for 1, soften the front knee. Inhale, rise up. Short stride forwards as we come into pyramid. So both sets of toes facing the short front side of the mat. Hands to hips. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Working into this right hammy this time as we hinge at the hips. That might feel like plenty. You might play around with the arms, taking them out wide or keep them on the hips. Or you can release them down towards the ground. And taking a release down whenever you're ready. So just as we would in a normal forward fold, I want you to think about that hinge from the hips, leading with the crown of the head, heart towards the toes. Nice release there. I'm just not dropping my head down as much as I said, so I don't want to eat the microphone. Full breaths in and out. Well done. For 3, 2, and for 1. Soft knee bend. Step forwards with the left foot. Bend the knees. Inhale to rise. Well done. Exhale, coming all the way down. Nice little float down. Take the hands down to the floor. Step back into your full plank. Take the weight forwards. Inhale. Exhale, slowly releasing down into your low plank. Inhale, up into your upward facing dog. And exhale, tuck those toes. Shooting back with the hips. Find that lift, that pedal out, that reach. For 3. Have a little roll around through those hips. 2. And for 1. Good stuff. Inhale, right foot high. Exhale, bring the knee towards the chest and then pop the right foot down between the hands. Turning out the back toes, we're going to work into warrior 2 this time. So windmill the arms up and over. Again, just as before in our hips and heart warrior, think about this right knee and what it's doing and line it up with the hips. So taking a nice sink down through the hips, arms at shoulder height, but relax through the shoulders if you want to lift up through that front heel. Again, more toning of the thighs here and the glutes, folks. Sitting up tall from the waist upwards for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Pop that front heel down. Pivot on the back foot, bringing the hands into another interlock and extending into a power lunge. So the crown of the head's leading on this one. We're on that lovely diagonal shape. We want the knee over the right ankle if you can, but opening up through the chest by lifting up high behind us with the arms. So really active arms on this one. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely job. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. I lied. Another one. Inhale. Feels good. And exhale, release the hands, rising up, pressing into that front leg. And so we turn towards the long left side of the mat, taking the feet into that parallel position, floating up with the arms. Inhale, as you exhale, sit down into a squat position. So see if you can bring the knees in line with the hips. And by that I mean not coming forward to the toes. So you want to send your butt back. So think about sending your bum back, taking the arms out wide, and then just releasing the chest to parallel on the floor. So the knees are bent. We're not straightening on this one. We want to let the sit bones come down towards the ground. Extend away. Again, working into lengthening. Fingertip away from fingertip. Lots of reaching and stretching in this sequence.
I think this is how I use one of those squat toilets. The safe way.
A hover potty. Well done. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Right, let's make it a bit juicier. Let's take some thrusters from here. You ready? It looks obscene, but it really, really works. For 5, 4, just little pulses at the top. 3, feels wrong to be doing this in a cowboy outfit or cowgirl outfit. 2, and for 1. Well done. Bring the hands back to the heart center. Inhale, rise up and step forwards. Good job. Oh, baby. All right, here we go on the other side. Are we ready? Inhale, rise up with the arms. Exhale, step back with the right foot this time. Coming into your warrior 2. Left knee over left ankle, turning the right toes out. Taking your arms up to shoulder height. Working into your really lovely long arms here. Into your warrior 2. Remember, you can lift up through that front heel if you like. I want you to be active in the arms. Don't just let them flop down. Okay, strong. Ping, exactly. Imagine you've got lightning bolts shooting out those fingers. Well done. For 3, you've got power lunge next.
Your fingers have done that weird thing.
2, I know my fingers I can catch a ball like that. 2, and for 1, well done. Heel comes down on the front foot as we lift the heel on the back foot. So now our hips are square to the front side of the mat. Interlock the fingers once more. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open out through the chest and lean into this one. So bringing the heart towards the knee almost as we extend on a diagonal. Really engaging that back quad to keep us nice and stable in that back leg. Pressing the heel away. And feel that long line of energy all the way down from the crown of the head towards the heel. Squeezing that belly for 3, 2, And for 1, release the arms. Inhale to rise, coming back into our wide-legged squat. Inhale, float up with the arms. Exhale, sink down. Taking the chest to parallel whenever you feel ready. Opening out, stretching out. Let's go. Weight into the heels, pulsing out with me. 5, 4, 3. I need one of those rodeo machines. 2. And 1, super. Inhale, rise, and taking a step to the front of the mat. Let's get down on the mat for some hips and core. Inhale to lift the arms. Exhale, bring the hands down through for heart center. I nearly said fart center then. Taking the hands to the ground, big step back. Nice long plank, take the weight forwards, low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale to your down dog. Stretch it out, wiggle it out. And then working into our wide leg melting heart from here. So drop the knees down towards the mat, but take them towards the outer edges of your mat. Uncurl your toes so your tops of your feet are down on the ground. And just as with child's pose at the beginning, we're going to extend the arms and let our forehead come down. So really working into lengthening out the arms. Now with melting heart, if you feel able to, it's a good work of into the flexibility of the shoulders. Rather than having the forehead down, you can start to bring the chin to the floor. Okay, so again, I'm just breathing into this pose, pressing the sit bones towards the back end of your mat. Just another 2 breaths. Nice stretch out for the abs, releasing through the deltoids in the shoulders, releasing into the upper back. 1 more breath. Well done. Start to walk the hands towards you as we come onto our bottoms and into a forward fold with a bit of a difference. We're going to take a crossover of the arms. So whereas normally you'd take your right hand to right foot, okay, we're going to switch over. We're going to take the right hand to the left foot and the left to the right. So lots of knee bend on this one. Okay, so you're going to reach and take a hold of the outside edges of the feet. So think about lifting up through the chest here rather than rounding just to start off with. And then slowly start to walk those bottoms back a little bit. So you can find lots of length here. That's it. Inhale. Exhale. Start to lead heart towards the toes. You can have as much knee bend as you need here. Breathing in. And out for 3. 2. Just enjoy that calming sensation that a forward fold brings. And for 1, good. Just release the feet for a sec and then draw the heels a bit closer to the bottom. So we're going to take the same, but it's going to be a boat. So we're going to swap the hands over. So I had my right hand on the top. Okay, we're going to switch it round the other way. So this time my left hand is on the top. And we're going to think about lifting up the chest again, finding that connection through the core, again not rounding through the spine, and then see if you can find a little bit of space underneath the heels. Okay, it's a squeeze as we lift up, that's it. So from here, you can think about extending a little bit or a lot, your choice. So we're working into that boat pose, but with this funny old bind with opposite hand to foot. So you might just get to a 90-degree knee position. That's fine. You might keep working to that full leg extension there. Deep breath into the body. Try to relax the shoulders and try not to overbalance, really focusing on that strength that the core's delivering for us. For 3, 2, and 1. Well done, everyone. Releasing down from there. So we're going to come into a fish pose. If you've done fish pose before, you know where you're going. If you've not, just have a look at my hands. You want to bring the 4 fingers and the thumb together, and it's that position that you want to take, but you're going to nestle the fingers underneath the back of your bottom, so it were. And we're going to reach down onto the elbows, try and squeeze the elbows in a little bit together here, okay? And we're going to let the crown of the head drop down towards the floor. Now, if you are comfortable in this position, and it's only if, you can start to lift up with the legs, okay? So it's quite a strong, challenging pose. If you have done this quite a lot and you want to release the arms, you can take the arms and the legs out, okay? So working onto the crown of the head, so you feel supported through the neck. You might want to take some leg lowers and lift from this fish, but it's strong into the lower back for another 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take the hands down to the floor to give you support to release the neck, and then take both legs into the air. Inhale to lift up with the legs. Exhale, start to scissor the legs, gently fluttering the feet down towards the ground. If you decide that you're going to come a bit lower and your lower back starts to lift, don't come down as far on the next one. You can lift the shoulders off, you can reach the fingers forwards, just to give yourself that extra little bit of core workout here for 3, 2, and final 1. Well done. Draw the knees in, give yourself a little squeeze, little rock and roll. Just let both knees drop out over towards the right. Keep the shoulders down, nice and heavy. Good stuff. Inhale your way back through center, and exhale over to the other side. Now a little stretch out into the lower back and the IT band. Well done. All right, inhale back through center and rocking and rolling up to seated. Okay, wild cards, folkies, wild cards. We're going to work into crow and crane, maybe side variations. We'll start with side variation. If you've never done anything like this before, it might be worth watching and spending a bit longer on these like we would do in class, but for the purpose of this video, we're just going to work into option 1. Crow pose, coming onto the toes like your little crow on its perch. You're going to take the knees out wide, giving you space to bring the arms down in front. And the hands want to be at shoulder width apart, the fingers spread, so you create that nice surface area to take the balance onto. So think about lifting up and sucking up through the centre of your body. I always think about it like a zipping up a hooded top. We're going to press the knees into the upper arms, outside the shoulders if you can, and roll the weight forwards until you feel like you're teetering on the edge. And at that point, you might start to lift one toe off and then bring it down, and then the other one. And you're getting that sensation of that squeeze through the belly, because that's where the strength is coming from. Yes, you do need a bit of arm strength, but that's essentially where it's coming from. So squeezing the knees and then finding your little float up from there, okay? So that's your crow. Crane's slightly different because you're bringing the knees onto the backs of the upper arms. So you might want to come up a little bit more for this one. Same hand placement, knees into the armpits. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale, squeezing as you start to move forwards. It's a little bit scarier because you're up a bit higher. Start to lift one foot and then the other foot. Get used to feeling your way into this pose. You can always pop cushions and things down in front of you. Okay, so don't worry if you're gonna fall. It does happen, it's part of the learning. And just focusing on lifting into your crane pose from there. Well done, everyone. Just having a little play around with that one if you're feeling like it. That's it. All right. If you wanted to play around with, what else did we have on there? Oh yeah, that was one thing that you could have a go at. I found this tremendously difficult. So if you're in your crane position, we had a play when we did this for real, with actual real people, about bringing their toes to their ankles. So to their wrists, sorry. It sounds a simple thing to do, but once you're up there in your crane, you're then going to start to squeeze the toes towards the wrist, but it's absolutely really hard. So have a little go at that, and then I promise we'll come down into your Shavasana. So if you've managed to take flight today in your crane, start to squeeze the toes towards your wrists.
Signature jump into crow.
Hat's coming off.
It's going to end with a headstand. So.
Okay, Chris is doing his own thing. Hopping into crow. Don't take out the mirrors, Chrissy. Okay, if everybody's finished having a little play around with that one, we'll have a little relax down. Yeehaw. That's all I say. Nice one, Mr. Downing. Rolling down onto the spine. This time drawing little circles with the knees. So taking hands onto the knees. Inhaling knees to chest. Exhaling, rolling out. Drawing circles. You can circle the other way. Full breath in and out. Just close the eyes now, letting the body power down. Taking the peace sign fingers around the big toes or on the outside edge of the feet again. And this time, instead of extending the legs, we're going to work to happy baby, allowing the knees to draw down towards the outside of your shoulders. So depending on how open, I mean, you can take the feet a little bit closer together, or you can try to walk the feet out a little bit and just play around with the distance between the feet and how that affects your happy baby. And again, you can stay still, you can rock from side to side if that feels all right. Connecting with the whole of the spine, the back of the head, really feeling grounded through the back body in your happy baby. And then releasing the legs down. Maybe taking a little bridge, if that feels nice. Just using this time for any other wiggles that you know your body likes. If you want to take a spinal twist, go ahead. I'm going to float up into a dynamic bridge, keeping control through the spine and the legs, and then roll all the way down. And then I want you to release into your Shavasana. When you're ready, it can be a reclined butterfly with the soles of the feet together. You could take corpse pose with the legs long and the arms down by the side body. You could take the arms up above the head if that feels nice, or out to the side. Just want you to be comfortable. I want you to feel like you can stay in this position for the next minute or so. Whatever sounds you can hear, just try and bring the breath to the forefront of the mind. Try and make it the most interesting thing that you can hear. Breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe you can feel any tension, or if you've been at work and you had quite a bit of stress to deal with, just let that float away with the breath out. I always like to play a little game. How relaxed can I allow myself to become without dropping to sleep? And it's just like any of the other poses. The more you practice this level of concentration and focus, the better you will become at it, and the easier you'll be able to take this into the areas of your life. Full breath in and out. Letting all of those hard-working muscles relax and soften. And then just taking one more breath from here. And then on the next breath in, just bring some movement back to your fingers and toes. If you've got lots of room, you might want to create a little starfish shape. Just stretch out nice and wide again. And then slowly, one limb at a time, draw your way back in and squeeze into a tiny little pebble shape. Maybe rock from side to side, massage the lower back, maybe rolling onto your side or rocking and rolling up to a comfortable seated pose, and taking a nice big deep breath together. From there, I'm just going to switch around. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. Well done, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. Namaste, and a big ol' yeehaw. Have a good one. Thanks, guys. Well done.